Welcome to the Olympic edition of the Penalty Loopy podcast, where we talk about all races and everything around the biathlon competizione from the 2026 Olympics in Antholz, Italy. Grazie for listening, and if you enjoy the podcast, leave us a 5 stars or a like on your podcasty platform, or send us a message on social media. Ciao, everybody.
Buongiorno. Welcome to Milan Cortina 2026. And anybody who's watching on the world feed knows exactly what I'm talking about. As we watch Tommaso Giacomelli. She gets me. But enough about that. We just saw a thrilling men's sprint. I actually, and I mean that sincerely, that was a pretty great men's sprint. I thought, especially I think if you are new to biathlon or you've been watching it for a long time, I thought that the way it unfolded, you could sort of grasp in your head who was in contention. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and even though there wasn't a lot of, after QFM finished, it was hard to see him being beat, but then still people getting very close. And then the changes of, I was so happy for Emilien Jacquelin, but that it finally clicked. We've talked about this so many times, right? He just keeps trying until that one day it clicks. And then for whatever reason, it just wasn't working on the skis today, or maybe he'd spent too much already in the earlier stage of the race. But it was interesting because they compared him on the German TV with the ski times of Sturla. And it was literally, I think the first lap, EJ was like maybe, under 3 seconds faster than Sturla. Second lap, they were identical time. And then the third lap, I think the difference was, maybe 12 seconds or something. Or even more. Not sure. I would have to look it up, but it was crazy. Like, I don't know what, because even when he has his races where he would like be ahead of the whole pack in the first lap right away, like you see him struggle at the end, but today was even worse than I've seen him for a very long time.
Yeah, it was at the very, very, very end of the race that he just completely ran out of steam. I've actually got the splits in front of me for the last lap if you want to go through them. So after he left the range, he had 20 seconds on Laegreid. And then at the 7.6 kilometer mark, it was still 19.3 seconds. 8.1 kilometer mark, it was 17.9 seconds. At the 8.8 kilometer mark, so we're talking about 1.2 kilometers left in the race, he still had a 16-second advantage on Sturla and a 10-second advantage on Christiansen. And then that fell to at the 9.6 kilometer mark. This is nuts. 9.6 kilometers. He has, I'm going to say 8.8 kilometers. He had 6 seconds on Christiansen and he had 12 seconds on Sturla at 9.6 kilometers. So 400 meters left to go in the race. He was holding a 1 second advantage on Christiansen and a 5 second advantage on Sturla. And then of course finished, less than a second back of Sturla. So he was holding it together until the last 1,500 meters basically. And then just had nothing. And you could see it as he was coming down the end, like he had nothing left in the tank.
Oh.
But you're right. I mean, everything until that moment was perfect. It was the classic Jacquelin race. He goes out hard. I think he had the second best skiing on the first lap, right behind Quentin Fillon Maillet. Extremely fast shooting. So he takes a 7-second lead after the shooting. I think he was 22 seconds for that first prone. He has the top time coming in for the second shooting. A insane 16.8 seconds. Was that right?
Man.
For the standing, and
I couldn't believe it.
Even faster.
Yeah,
and then
I think maybe his time to his first shot was relatively slow, so that the next 4 shots looked even faster.
Yeah,
I literally could not keep up almost watching.
No. Well, the camera couldn't.
Crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
And to fall, I mean, it's one thing if you would have fallen 10 seconds behind, but to be 0.2 seconds away from a bronze medal, he is sensational to watch. You know why, people love him, and you also know why people get so frustrated, because it's like you feel like you've seen the same race happen 312 times now, but it still is so thrilling to see it, because almost to the end, you're like, this is the time. It's going to happen. It worked. This is it.
I know.
And you just hope that he's able to collect himself before Sunday, because he's still right in great position for a medal if he can just somehow hold it together for the full 12.5 kilometers on Sunday. I really want it for him.
Well, and it's such you would think on the one hand, he must be boosting with confidence, knowing that he can do the super fast shooting clean. But yeah, he didn't look overly confident and in a positive mood after the race. But yeah, like you said, to be that close to at least a medal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all part of the sport, right?
It is. It's biathlon. You got to do the whole race. Should we talk about his teammate? The man on top?
It was a little odd to see. Hey, I thought you meant Eric Perrault.
Well, we can talk about him too.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah, I mean, man, QFM in this. I mean, we know he can shoot under pressure, and when he's in this skiing form, it's clearly hard to beat. Even if I think Dahle was even faster today, just by a little bit.
Yeah, just by 5.3 seconds. That was it. Racing with the strength of, I was going to say the strength of 2 men, but I think it's more like 1.1 men, as he made the announcement after the race that his longtime girlfriend is pregnant. And he is clearly over the moon about that. So I don't know if that. Clearly he set up his season to peak at the right time, but a little extra boost, I think, in adrenaline as he's racing.
Yeah, no, it's just really cool. Like, I think everybody knows that I'm not a huge fan of his for different reasons, but still a lot of respect always for the guy. And I mean, it's hard not to feel great about seeing an athlete who has such a performance be so happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's it
was a perfect race. He ran a perfect race. I don't know, this is what you have to do to win a medal, and he's sort of becoming like Mr. Olympics. What is this now? 6, 7 medals in the last 2 Olympics. Where he had 5 in Beijing and now 2 already. 2 already this time around. He's starting out with the lead for the pursuit, so he's obviously got a very good chance at another medal. Building quite the resume.
Yeah. No, he's definitely one of those that even if he's not really having a great season, when it comes to like an event like Olympics or World Championships, he is able to get some extra energy or whatever it is to make it on top. So
yeah, definitely boosts him, gives him that boost. Do you remember? And we've shared this so many times, so I know you remember this because I talk about it about every time we talk about him. But I was especially thinking about it today when we saw him in that hotel, and he is in the middle of a conversation with somebody. This was in Holmenkollen last year, and he's in the middle of a conversation with somebody, and then his girlfriend walks in, and all of a sudden, like you saw when he saw her, because all of a sudden he was just like beaming. Yeah. And And clearly he was not expecting to see her at that moment. And he was clearly very excited. And so personally, I'm very excited for them and him getting to take this next step in his career. Who knows if he'll be around 4 years from now? I wouldn't bet against it if he wanted to be. He could sort of be a Lucas Hofer type, but you can see like he's getting to this stage of his career where he's becoming a father and he's coming towards the end, and it just really feels like it's coming together for him. I'm happy for them. I hope that the pregnancy, I don't know how far along she is. I hope it is smooth and that she's healthy, baby's healthy, and everything goes excellently well. But I guess I'm gonna have to pack a new stuffy when we go to Oslo. I gotta bring one for Quentin and for his new baby.
Absolutely, you can't leave that out.
Nope, absolutely not.
I also wanted to highlight a very, very strong performance by the Canadian team. We're going to have 3 athletes out of 4 in the pursuit, and we have a top 20 athlete in the course time.
Yes.
Even though he skied 600 meters extra. And I know that the penalty loop is not included in the course time, but it's still 600 meters extra in your leg. So, wow. Like I've been very, very, very little involved with the wax people that do a lot of work behind the scenes. No, I shouldn't say involved. I've been connected very, very slightly and briefly. And I know how much work they do from both the physical labor, but also the research and collaboration with other sports in Canada. And I don't know if this was proof that they're onto something, but Zach Connelly did incredible. 19th time. I haven't really had the time to do the research, but I can't remember the last time that we saw a Canadian athlete that high up in the ski time. So
I couldn't tell you that, but I can tell you for Zach Connelly, that is a massive career best. Do you happen to know what his career best was before this race? Any idea?
I would say it was at least higher than 50, like average ski rank.
So his best ski rank before this race was 38th. Do you know when that race happened?
Antholz, maybe?
It was in Antholz, just the other day. It was in the individual. And before that, his best career ski rank was 50th. So he is both on form and the skis are on point.
Do you know from a physical perspective, if you are from an area where you live, maybe not at altitude per se, but at elevation, like the Canadian athletes, they're, the ones that in Canmore are above 1,000 meter all the time. Now, I know they spend a lot of time in Europe during the season, but does that physically have any benefit if your body is used to being higher than sea level?
100%. Your blood cells, first of all, you have a more of them, but because your body is responding to a small bit of hypoxia, so it's responding to a small bit of not having enough oxygen, so you will just naturally have more blood cells. Now, if you were to then move and live at in Seattle for a couple of months, your body would adjust to being down there, but you will just naturally have more, but your blood cells will also be more efficient at transporting oxygen, which then will, you need that oxygen because in the physiologic process to make an energy molecule, you have to have an oxygen to pick up the hydrogen. If you don't have the hydrogen, create a lot of acid. We all know what that feels like. It's that burning, cramping sensation in our legs. So you need that oxygen to go around, pick it up, take it back out. And so, they're clearly in good form. And that's why you see athletes try to go to altitude camps before going to somewhere like Antholz for championships. We can talk about a team that maybe needed to do that and didn't a little bit later. But yeah, I think, for the Canadians who are living at altitude, I have to imagine that there is at least a minor benefit to doing that versus their competitors who don't.
Mm-hmm.
Do we mention that? Connelly finished in 48th.
Yeah, with 4 misses.
Misses. Adam Runnels was 31st, and Logan Pletz was in 55th. So you already mentioned 3 into the pursuit, but I'm tingly. It just makes me so excited that they're having all that success payoff for that hard work.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Americans. So Paul Schomer and Campbell qualified for the pursuit.
Talk about
obviously
falling
not quite working with wax.
Falling apart late. Campbell was having
or both.
Yeah. He was doing pretty well. He recovered from that early miss and was racing at one point. He, I think, had the 6th best split early on the 3rd lap. And it looked like he was about to set the new best American finish, which would be, DJ Irwin has it at 7th right now for any American ever in the Olympics. And then he started to fade. And so he went from 8th best time at the 8.8 kilometer mark to ended up finishing in 10th. So he just sort of slipped back a little bit, but not in terrible position for the pursuit. I don't know if he's going to be a medal contender, but he'll have some fun with it at least.
Yeah. Although, without having looked into things too much, I think in the current shape and mental state, somebody's going to have a good battle on their hand with QFM for that.
Absolutely. Yep. Should we talk about the Norwegians?
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously Vetle Christiansen in 2nd, Laegreid in 3rd, Dale Skjevdal in 6th, and Boten in 8th. So, just a classic Norwegian Olympic performance, cramming them into the top 10. And 2 guys on the medal stand. Obviously not gold, but I don't believe the Norwegian fans can be too terribly upset with what they've seen. Nobody's touching QFM right now, and Christiansen and Sturla really turned themselves inside out on that last lap to get up on the medal stand.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for Christiansen. He just seems like aside from a couple of moments, he's sort of been just sort of like the quiet soldier for Norway for so many years now. The anchor, he's always been steady. He just sort of comes through as this big, not flashy guy, the Hulk. He just sort of fights his way, onto podiums. Happy to see him get this medal today. And it seems like he's really been a sort of I don't know, like the emotional center of the team at times this season.
Yeah, it depends how you qualify emotional center.
Yeah. I just meant like the guy who's been, like, if you look on social media, he's got, the posts that are sort of like with the whole team together or, sort of getting people together, in the off season.
Bit of a team clown, I think, even though he looks kind of, like you said, kind of a calm, quiet person in the public eye. But yeah, he's always having these. Well, he does always have like the funny hats and all that stuff, right? So,
yeah.
He definitely seems to have a good sense of humor there.
So he's got the 2 nicknames, the Hulk and Diesel. And my God, on that last lap, he looked like a diesel. Man, he just like this like freight train just kind of coming around. He's just a big dude compared to so many of these guys. And it's a little bit warmer day, so the snow was a little bit splashier, so it made him look like he was. It just made it look more dramatic as he was charging.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, to see some of them, that steep hill when they get in, like from the trees into the open field, and they still, skate one all the way up. It's man.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where he could already tell that Emilien Jacquelin was starting to struggle, because I think he offset the whole way up, and it's funny because it seemed. It's more energetic, I find, offset, especially like someone like Emilien Jacquelin, who still is able to do that sort of that spring almost in it. It looks faster than the one skate, but Oh man, it makes such a difference when you compare the times.
Yeah.
And probably more energy efficient if you have the strength to keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have guessed that the ranking of the Italians would be Hofer, Romanen, and then Giacomo?
Nope. Which, by the way, great for Romanen, but you kind of feel for Giacomo.
Yeah, I really hope that they haven't, we're living up to that first race so much that is not going to work anymore. Like to be, like you're really hoping for another great performance by some of them, like medal performance, but then, they have to do something to turn around.
And you're looking at the pursuit, Hofer is, I can do some quick math, a minute and 7 seconds off the podium, but in order to get there, he has to leapfrog over Sturla, Jacquelin, Samuelson, Dalish, Gavdal, Ponce, Boughton, Perot, Horn, Hedensalo, Campbell, Wright. I mean, it's not impossible. I would not call it in any way, shape, or form likely. So you're looking at really the mass start or a miracle in the relay as sort of your last chance for a medal for the men. I really feel bad for Giacomo. I just, because coming in, he was wearing yellow just a couple of weeks ago. It really felt, especially in the mixed relay, that this could be a magical performance. And this is the danger with the sprint. You have a bad shooting day in the sprint, and it's not just one race, it's two that puts you behind.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I always feel with him too that it might impact him for the rest of the season as well. If it's disappoint, if the Olympics going to be disappointing for him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you hope not, but I see it. Yeah.
Shout out to Philip Horn, who, we weren't sure how he was going to come back, and he obviously didn't do the relay, and then the individual was not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
But to come back in a 10th today was it's good to see. Still quite a bit off with ski time, but best German.
Yeah.
Zobel also, because, of the four today, and we have Strello and Narath and Zobel and Horn. I think Zobel was the one who was most argued if he should be on the team.
Yeah.
And, the only one of the four that shot clean.
Mm-hmm.
19th place. Really can't argue with that selection.
He did it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For a time, it looked like it might be a really special day for the Germans, too, when they had Strello, Horn, and Zobel all clean on their prone shooting. And they were relatively early in the start order, so they were higher up on the placement than they ended up being. But yeah, it looked like it was about to be a really special day. Still some hopefully special days ahead of them. I'm a little bit worried, like you said, about their skiing. They had those two really good relays in Oberhof and Ruhpolding. I'm fingers crossed that they can find that magic again, but looking a little tough at the moment compared to France and Norway.
You'd almost hope that for the German team, I think they're probably hoping that the snow and weather conditions change, because they seem to, when it's a bit warmer and slushier, they don't seem to do well.
Totally agree.
And I mean, if you look at, someone like Horn and Narath, we talked about the Hulk and the tank, but they're pretty big dudes, strong dudes, right? So, and I mean, Justus is not a small guy by any means. Zobel, I'm not sure actually. He seems the what you call it, thinnest, skinniest.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe, but even he's not a small guy by any means either. So At least doesn't appear to me. So, yeah, if things change, weather, they may be able to, but...
My weather app appears to be wrong, but it looks like it might get a little bit cooler this week. They might have some snow.
Okay.
A little bit early part of next week, so maybe we'll see.
Agent Salo, still no miss this whole Olympics. Not that many that can say that, if any.
He is. He's doing it, man.
And his ski time, what's his ski time? Otto is 17th, Tero Seppala 20th, Eden Salo 24th. So obviously there's something working for the Finnish team as well in the WEX department.
They got it, man. That's and the results are there too, right? You mentioned Eden Salo, still perfect. He was in 11th and Seppala in 18th. Harjula was in 21st and Vinius in 40th. So all four of them are in the pursuit.
Yeah, and Vinius seems to be the one that's really struggling on the range, eh?
Well, except for the individual. He struggled today, but he was great on the individual. But yeah, no,
am I mixing them up?
Didn't he finish like 11th in the individual? Somewhere in that range, but...
Very possible. I remember there was one Finn who didn't shoot very well in the individual.
I think it was probably...
Yeah.
They traded spots. It was Seppala on the individual and Otto today. Yep. If they can get it all synced up for the relay, that's a nice little...
I'm thinking that as well, yeah.
Yeah, nice little team. Hey, another team. The Swiss. So they went today. Burkhalter in 14th, Stalder in 15th, and Hartweg in 17th. And Burkhalter and Stalder were perfect. Hartweg was right in it after the prone. He had those two standing misses. But even at the end of the race, so when it's all said and done, he still had the sixth best time leaving the range after the prone shoot. He's probably got too big of a hill to climb in the pursuit, but he could be a factor in the mass start.
I think at this point, with how his season's been going, if he just has a really good race in the pursuit for him, maybe the result, in the end, here it's not points, it's all about the three medals. But I think for him, it would be really good to have a strong race. And how about Sondre Slettemark qualifying for the pursuit?
Yes. How cool is that?
Yeah, no kidding.
You asked a question the other day. Is the Greenland uniform different than the Danish uniform? And we have an answer. It is.
Is it?
So Anne de Besch had a red uniform, and the Slettemarks are wearing the blue uniform. So yeah, the Sondre will be rocking his blue uniform into the pursuit.
That is neat how I actually wonder if that is kind of breaking the rule that teams have different suits or team members.
Who knows? Yeah.
But
speaking of,
I think especially in what's been happening in the last couple of weeks that, people from Greenland have an extra strong desire to wear their Greenland outfit.
Go for it. Absolutely.
Probably a good thing that they're not getting...
Speaking of young men having awesome performances, I'm going to probably butcher his name, but Rihards Lozbers is a 16-year-old, and he finished in 32nd today.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
16
years old. Yep.
Oh, my God. God.
That's
insane. Crazy.
Yeah. You add that to the couple of young Latvian women we've seen, Esther Wolfa and Elsa Bledel, and then I think Renars Birkentals is also fairly young. That's a nice little little group coming up for Latvia.
So I'm just looking. He's only got 4 individual World Cup events. He got in rank 101, 80, 88, and then today 32nd. Which I know it's not a World Cup event, but the World Cup level.
Still.
Sorry, I should. And his shooting in his first races were 50%, 60%, 60%, and then 80% today. Key rank 87, 43, 79, 26. 26 today.
26th. Well, I mean, the Latvian ski techs, we saw Biba have an amazing day a couple days ago.
Yeah.
They've clearly got some rockets. But
good
16.
skis is great, but at 16 years old.
Wow. Yeah, they don't have rocket engines on them, so there's only so much the skis can do.
Well, no, thanks for pointing it out. That's incredible.
Yeah, I just sort of blew my mind when I saw him coming around. Rostroguev's was in 14th for Latvia leading the way, but I think that Lozbers at 36th is going to be the big story there.
Oh, but he ended up in 30th, right?
That was 32nd after the, yeah. So part of that was the second shooting. Rostroguev's was 30th at the finish, 32nd for Lozbers.
Only 9 seconds behind.
Yeah.
And 20 years older, or 21.
That's insane.
No.
He's less than half my age. Easily. He's less than half the age of QFM.
Yeah. Well, have you ever heard his name? Like on
I've seen him in juniors races. Malta Single Malt on Twitter is a big fan. They've chatted a few times. It sounds like so. He has probably he's the leader of the Lozbers fan club on social media. So
okay,
yeah.
No, you were alluding to a team whose skiing hasn't been quite there.
Oh, yeah.
Mentioned that
we should get to them
even
finally.
Though, it feels very disappointing, but Samuelsson in 5th with no shooting errors is great. And at the other side, concerning because, typically if he has a clean shooting, he's going to be right in the mix. And today it never really felt that he was.
Ponsaloma, to his credit, with 2 misses, was in 7th place, but yeah, Samuelsson just looked weird. And I don't know, is that
because he basically loses a whole penalty loop in a sprint, right? Time-wise.
Yeah. And this is like the wild thing is he's 8th best, ski time. So if you're not familiar with biathlon, you're looking at this and you're going, oh, he was 8th best. That's pretty good. But this is a guy we're used to seeing right at the top. And any time that he goes 10 out of 10 in a sprint, you expect him to be on the podium. And he was 10 seconds off it. Again, I don't know, is this skis? Did they mess up the skis? Is this because he just doesn't do well at altitude? Should he have?
Well, there was a lot of you referred to the doing Novo Mesto, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So should he have gone to the altitude camp with Elvira and Hanna and Ella Halverson beforehand? This is the classic hindsight is 2020. Would it have made a difference? I don't know. It just is. It's kind of stark. I'll say it again. Anytime that Samuelsson goes perfect on the range, you expect him to be in the medal mix, and it never felt there was at no point during the race today was I thinking like, oh man. And part of that was where he was in the start order, but again, like he was right behind Jacquelin and QFM, and he's perfect.
Yeah,
he comes onto the range for his second. He comes onto the range for a second.
Maybe he was waiting for another minute at the shooting range, but that wasn't the case today either. He was 4 seconds faster than QFM.
Comes onto the range for a second shoot, 21 seconds behind Jacquelin and 20 seconds behind QFM. So he basically, it just at that point,
That's interesting.
Yeah, we already knew that they were perfect. So The only way for him to get a medal at that point was he had to go perfect and hope everybody behind him had a miss.
Yeah. That was interesting. So he was 4 seconds faster in shooting time than QFM.
Very strange.
But in the range time, oh no, hang on. No, he's still, no, similar in the range time. Sorry, I thought it was the other way around. So yeah, it's not like he lost it in the range. So it's all skiing. Weird.
Again, is it form? Is it skis?
But it kind of feels like it's across the team, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Ponsaloma the exception, but yeah.
Which could also still be the shape, and they've had it before though, where they're so fast at the start of the season, and then you're like, well, that's great to come out shooting from the starting blocks in your own home event, but then they're beating everybody by 2 minutes, and by the time that we're halfway through the season, they're not able to keep up and get past.
Even still, though, I feel like, and this could be totally faulty memory, I have not looked it up, but it feels like they've in the past still been able to put together a really good championships, like a Worlds or an Olympics. Maybe Olympics in 2022 wasn't as good, but they've been able to really. Yeah, it's just not there. I don't understand.
Yeah, and I again, I've not looked into this either, but it feels like if it's like that, kind of the whole team is kind of down. Not that the whole team is just not in the best of shape and spirits.
No, I agree. It's it just has a sort of a funky atmosphere. And maybe that's just they haven't performed super well, so that's why they're not in great spirits. And if somebody wins a medal, it'll change everything, but it just does. It just feels
for sure
off.
Yeah. And they don't have the new number 1 Norwegian mascot, Ingrid Landmark Thundervold.
No, they don't.
It was so good to see her being, the Ingrid that we've been hoping to see for such a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she wasn't racing today, but there to cheer on and just to see her like with a huge smile bouncing around amongst the guys. I mean, that was that was probably one of the highlights of today.
Yes.
Like if you would have my emotion level on if you could follow my emotional level on a chart, and seeing her being that happy was definitely a peak in that line.
And you saw sort of a piece of it too in the sort of semi-disastrous, well, not semi, completely disastrous Laegreid interview after the individual. Like you could see her go up to him, and I don't know what she was saying to him, but she was like cradling his face in her hands, and she was clearly being like the big sister, and sort of like trying to reach him, which I'm happy to see her in this role. It like you said, it just makes me happy to see her finding her place. In 2 seasons ago, would not have expected her, you would expect her to be fighting for medals every race. And now it seems that she's sort of graduated into this role of, hey, struggling but I still have something I can contribute. And I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader everyone's got.
Well, and I have really strong hope that if she finally get out of this funk a little bit and just really be her sparkly self, that may have a very positive effect on her on the race.
Yeah. Well, you saw her skiing the other day. I don't think we mentioned it, but I think she had the 5th best course time.
Yeah, she was fast.
So she can find those shots. Maybe it's going to happen tomorrow.
You never know. It's sometimes I think we have a really bad race. Maybe you feel like, now from here on, I'm just going to have fun with it because the expectations are low, or whatever it is. But we mentioned this so many times. We just want to see the person that we think demonstrate who she really is,
Yes.
And that's with a lot of big smiles and passion, and hopefully we'll see that again.
Absolutely.
Anyone
can we
else
talk about something quirky? So the Slovenian team is apparently very close friends. In 34th, you had Lavro Planko. In 35th, Anton Vidmar. And in 36th, Miha Dovzin. They all finished within 5 seconds of each other. I thought that was just very strange. And it's not like they were at all close.
With different shooting.
Yeah, very different shooting. Planko had 3 misses, Vidmar 2, and Dovzin had 1. So they really had to work hard to make this happen, but they did it. And the one man who messed it up was Jakov Fok, who decided to finish in 25th. He just didn't get the message.
Oh.
Yep. No. I also we've sort of talked about the Polish men having a really fun season, and to the point where we almost don't recognize, at the start of the season, they would be top 20 or top 30, and we'd say, hey, that was a great race, but Jan Gunke was in 29th, and nobody really batted an eye. He just sort of has established himself in that range, which is kind of neat. And then Gregor Galisa in 37th.
And in a kind of a positive way, although I'm sure you won't feel that way, but the fact that I really was struggling to find Sturla, because I expected him in kind of the top 20, is in itself a bit of a compliment, I guess, for how he's been doing. But he today didn't really have it 49th, and I think the whole team was struggling with 49th, 71st, 83, 84. But he's getting to the point now, Sturla, that you start looking for him in the upper rankings of the results.
Totally agree. I thought I missed him when I was scrolling through. I was like, oh, did he not race? And then just a little bit further down.
And Stremus is also from
Moldova,
Lithuania, right?
Moldova.
Moldova. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, other than that, not sure if we missed any shocking results. Chuck Jeffries, unfortunately, unable to make it to the pursuit.
Yeah, obviously, big story is going to be QFM, solidifying its place in Olympic biathlon history. You have Jacquelin just missing the medals. Great day from the Canadians. Solid day from the Finns and the Swiss. Italians not quite where they wanted to be. Yep. Yeah. So you were mentioning tomorrow.
Yeah,
yes.
I think if you look at the bigger nations who didn't have the day they wanted, you would think Italy and Sweden.
Yeah, totally agree. Yep.
Tomorrow the women's at a little better time for me personally, 6:45 instead of 6 a.m.
Yep.
And then is it Sunday?
Sunday's the really early day. Sunday actually is the last early day for North American biathlon fans. After this, every other race is, I believe, 8 o'clock Eastern or later, which is still early for Mountain and West Coast, but could be worse.
Could definitely be worse.
Here's a question for you. In the women's sprints tomorrow, will we see a French sweep? What is more likely, a French sweep or, let's say this, what's more likely, a French sweep
resurgence of the Swedes?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Pooh. Have they finalized their starting 4? Like, I know it must be Lou and Simon, and then I heard it was Michelin and JBB.
That is exactly it, yes.
Sweep of the podium. Yeah, very, very likely.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to define a resurgence of the Swedes, if that includes a podium or not, but you could totally see that, especially with the Öbergs, if they're on top of it tomorrow. But yeah, with what we've seen from the whole team so far, it's going to require either a big change in environment, like the ski conditions, or complete mental reset. But it's really hard to do. So I don't know. And then their hockey team lost to Finland, which is also kind of a sensitive thing in Sweden. Yeah. If I do over under 50% chance, I would definitely do over.
I agree actually, which is kind of crazy to say, but
and especially Simon and Lou not on the podium is really hard to. Unless something is really weird and off.
Yeah, they'll have to shoot themselves off the podium. Do you think that we could see a really good day from somebody? I'm just going to, this is a total, we saw Baiba have that amazing ski day. Could somebody just pull something crazy out? I guess it's always possible, but.
Would Doro winning fall under that?
Oh, that would definitely be under that. Or like Michaela Carrara from Italy.
Yeah, and Rebecca Passler is allowed to start, hey?
She is allowed to start. She's not currently on the starting list, so I think that she will be held out until the relay. That's a whole question. Would be really bitter, right? If you
assuming that she's innocent and that it's just a matter of, taking the wrong thing at the wrong time. Who knows? It might be completely on purpose, but let's assume not. To then be finally cleared to race, but then you're not picked for the team. But at the same time, would you just at this stage tell somebody else, oh, sorry, you can't race anyway?
Well, then what if, because there will still be a final hearing. So there's still a chance that down the road she could then be suspended again.
Yeah.
And let's say they got a medal with her on the relay team, then they would have it taken away. Anyway, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
Plus, if she would race the sprint and qualify for the pursuit, you would lose that spot too.
Yes. Yep. This is totally random and weird. I have noticed weird groupings of teams in the start order. Like today, you had Jacquelin and QFM were 2 spots away. So basically, as in their grouping, they were the two right next to each other. And then you had Christiansen in bib 60, Dala Skevdal was in 64, Laegreid was in 56. So it was all the Norwegians were sort of, Boten was 58, so they were all clustered together. Tomorrow in the start order, you have Hanna and Lynn in bib 52 and 53, and just before them in bib 50, you have Anna Magnusson. So it's you've got this weird Swedish clumping. And then Elvira's in bib 58. It's it defies, and this has happened a couple times now at these Olympics, it defies the quote-unquote randomization of these, of the bibs. I'm not saying that anything nefarious is going on. It just is kind of quirky and weird.
Yeah, no, it's, I was just thinking that as far as I know, it's still a random draw, but who knows with, we've seen some creative looks at the rules when it comes to sticking your hand into the shooting range.
Well,
maybe there's a little bit of
too. If
I don't think that, by the way, just to be clear, I don't think there's any.
But at least there's some funny things happening, right? So there was a point in the individual where Ponsaloma and Samuelson came off the range together because of the just the way it lined up, and same thing happened today. You saw some guys that were relatively close together, with their teammates, and I wonder if that helps or hurts. I have no idea.
Well, I think what I've seen before is that if you could plan it perfectly, you would want to, as a Samuelson, for example, you would want to start when Ponsaloma just finishes second shooting.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be on his final lap, and you can kind of tuck behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never liked skiing behind somebody because to find somebody who's exactly the pace you would want to go, then you get a nice draft maybe. But I also think the draft is really more on the downhills that we don't really, we have some here, but the ones where you get some really good speed here, you definitely don't want to be close to someone, as far as I can imagine, because it's a lot of turns and stuff. And we've seen some pretty big athletes fall in that turn there when they come down that valley, or not valley, but the field. And it's also not it's almost like a bank turn that doesn't really, it can help, but it can also be pretty tough. So.
All right, last question. Who wins tomorrow?
Simo.
All right, I'm going Lou.
Yeah.
Battle it out. Either way, not going to be surprised.
Yeah. I think if they race it 10 times spread out through the season, Lou will win 8 out of 10. But I think the shape and mental state that Simone's in right now, mental, not that I know what her mental state is, but like the flow, I guess, that she's in.
Killing it.
It's hard to. But then again, she might have 2 misses in the first shooting, and
Yeah.
All
Excellent. Right. This is fun. I'm really enjoying these Olympics. I can't wait for tomorrow. And
I was going to say, sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking quickly about, bending the rules a little bit. So apparently there was a French guy in the cross-country skiing who did something not allowed by rules, yet got not disqualified. There was some mentioning that I think if he, I don't know, there was something about even if he would be scrapped, it would still be a French guy in a team, and a French guy is not protesting another French guy, I guess. It wasn't something where I would have to look it up, but I don't think it was anything that necessarily benefited him, but he did kind of cut through the V-boards a little bit, which technically made the course a bit shorter for him. But again, it didn't sound like. But anyway, it's interesting how that still seems to happen in different sports. That
always
a little bit of an interpretation, I guess. But that's guess how it goes.
Always.
Okay, man. We'll chat tomorrow a little bit later, thankfully, and then it's hard to believe that then it's been a week already.
Already.
All right, man. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll chat tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.